Town Bank Mortgage, NMLS number 512138, is an equal housing lender. This podcast is for informational purposes only. And now, the man born with a 5 o'clock shadow and with the NMLS number 2028-201. He is a gentleman. He is a scholar. He is
Tyler Cralle.
All right, welcome everyone to the latest edition of the Cape Fear Report. I, of course, am Tyler Cralle, loan officer at Town Bank Mortgage, and we got a great show just for you. And joining us here on the program from Intracoastal Realty is Lindsay Striplin. And Lindsay, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
I'm happy and excited to be here.
So, Lindsay, as we like to start out every episode, tell us how you got into real estate.
I got in real estate the summer of 2020. COVID was, crazy at that time. It had just happened. And I started in the summer, and I started with Intracoastal. Moved to Raleigh for a little bit and did some real estate with Alan Tate there. Ended up moving back to Wilmington because I knew I wanted to be here long term.
Of course.
And I'm so glad that I did, because I've been here ever since. And I guess this summer will be 6 years that I've been in the business. Yeah.
Nice. And so, but you were Wilmington before that, right?
I moved to Wilmington in 2017.
Okay.
So I guess it's been almost 10 years now that I've lived here. So
what were you doing before you got into real estate?
I was in the healthcare industry. Okay. I was basically doing client services for home healthcare. So I would answer the phones when, clients would call in, or nurses. And basically what we would do is pair the nurses with the clients for home healthcare. So that's kind of where I really found a passion for helping people. Like I always knew I wanted to help people, and I just didn't know how I wanted to do it. And up until I started real estate, I was helping people, but I was doing it at a W-2, 9-to-5 job where I had so many limitations and the pay wasn't great, right? Yeah. So I was like, I need to do something different. So I started real estate, and obviously it has its ups and downs and ebbs and flows as far as, the financial part of it, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I love this job. I love it.
Well, it's interesting you bring up the W-2 thing, because that is, that takes a certain kind of mindset to be able to, especially when you're starting out, is knowing that, okay, you're not going to have any closings this month or maybe next month, but then you're going to have a closing here, and it's just, make sure you're budgeting properly. It definitely is. I think
it's scary.
It's hard for a lot of people to do.
Yeah. It was a huge transition for me. I have a lot of anxiety, just like as a normal person. So, going into this with that level of uncertainty, I was definitely scared. But at the same time, the point that I was at in my life personally, and with everything that was going on in the world, I was just like, if there's ever going to be a time, it's now. So screw it. Let's just do it. And I did. And I'm so happy that I did.
Well, I think and I will say this as someone, I kind of got into the real estate business when I was older, when I was almost 40. And I will definitely say doing it when you're younger is definitely beneficial.
I wish I had done it earlier. I started when I was 30. I wish I had started like these new agents that are coming in. They're like barely even 21 years old. And they're like, let's sell some real estate. I'm like, dang, I wish I was you. Golly.
Well, plus you can live on such you don't have really any of the obligations that you get as you get older. And so you can definitely float for a little while longer while you're learning the business. There's definitely a little more a little more urgency when you get older as to how quickly you got to learn the business and get off.
Exactly. It can be frightening, but sometimes you just got to take the plunge, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. But for me, fortunately, it did.
So did you, when you came back to Wilmington, did you immediately, because you're on Michelle Clark's team, right? And so did you immediately start with her, or did you start as an individual agent?
I just went right back to individual, and I joined Michelle's team. It was October, I guess, of 24. So it's been like a year and a half-ish. It's funny that you mentioned that, because just yesterday I was sharing, Michelle Clark team was featured on the February issue of Cape Fear Real Producers.
Yes, I saw that.
So I was sharing that post on Facebook, and I wrote my own caption talking about how I always swore I would never join a team. Never. Because I was like, what's the point? It doesn't work for me. Yeah, it didn't work for me at that time, but now I couldn't imagine not having a team. And I think a lot of that is because I have a lot of, personal things going on. I have a husband. I have 2 kids. I, have a household to manage. and I also have a full-time career. So it's a lot, and you need support.
Yeah.
And having someone like Michelle, who is so incredibly just knowledgeable. I mean, she's been in the industry for 2 decades, and she's been with Intracoastal the entire time, which I think is awesome.
That is amazing.
But having her as a mentor I couldn't ask for a better mentor. Her and Janet Gray, my BIC, they're fantastic. But yeah, the team life definitely fits me better now. So I'm enjoying every minute.
And I'll say, from the mortgage side, it's kind of interesting because there's a lot of mortgage companies. There's a lot of loan officers, not as many realtors. There's a lot more realtors, I will admit, but there's a lot of loan officers, and especially in Wilmington, you have a lot of people who are like kind of these like one-man shops, or maybe 1 or 2 people, but they have no office. And
like EXP.
Yeah. And so and like I said, it just depends if that fits you or not. But at town, we have a team, and this because we do events in their coach all the time. We're usually always there. But even at the office, it's like if I have an issue with a deal and I'm like trying to figure something out, I can bounce ideas off of them. They're in the office, and that is so beneficial, especially starting out. To be able to do that versus just trying to figure it out on your own in an office by yourself. And so I assume it's very similar where if you're having an issue with a deal, you can go to Michelle or someone else on the team and say like, hey, I've never experienced this before. Like, how do I figure this out? Yeah.
I think when I have questions, when I'm an individual agent, it was, okay, I'll just email all of Intracoastal, which is like over 500 people, and just like hope for a response, But now my first step is text in our group chat. Hey, does anybody know of a surveyor that might have availability next week in Brunswick County? Just random. Or, hey, I'm having an issue with this deal. Michelle, are you available to chat or something? Like, just having that as my go-to now of a group of 10 to 15 ladies versus, this whole, over 500 agents. It makes it feel a lot more intimate, and it just makes it feel more meaningful, in my opinion.
Yeah, it seems interesting that a lot of people I know who maybe say I'm only going to be an individual agent, and then they do kind of see the benefits of a team. And so, it does seem like a lot of people probably start as individual agents.
Yeah, and then some people stay individual, and that's what works for them. And I think I probably would have stayed an individual. But when you look at the benefits, as your life progresses, my life changed personally in a very positive way, but it required me to I need more support. So because of that transition, it allowed me to kind of open up my perspective. There are benefits of being on a team. It's not just retracting, because you think, oh, they're just taking however much of my paycheck. But Michelle gives me leads, and
that's all.
Yeah, of course she's going to take. Yeah, of course she's going to take a portion of my paycheck. But if she's giving me the lead, what is it? 0% of $0 is $0, right? Or 50% of $0 is $0. So I don't know. To me, I just look at everything as an opportunity. Every day when I step out of my front door, what opportunity am I going to have today to be able to meet someone that I can help transition their life, what's going on with, they buy a house, they need to sell a house, whatever the case may be. What opportunity am I going to stumble upon today?
Yeah.
That's kind of just how I look at life in general, but especially with real estate.
So, you recently got married.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
And you mentioned, you have kids. And so, obviously when you got started, you were, I'm assuming, single when you got started in real estate.
No, I was dating someone else at the time.
But so now that you're
but
married,
we didn't have kids, and it was just a different situation. Obviously,
you were living by yourself, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was very, very different situation for me.
So that kind of transition, because I'm single, I live by myself, and I can always answer the phone. I obviously have family and friends and stuff, but it's much easier for me because I don't have that obligation, and so that's got to have been kind of a transition, knowing that that is one of the only things about real estate that is. Another thing hard for people to understand is that it's like we're on call all the time.
Yeah.
If someone finds a house,
and if you let your clients or customers run all over you, they will text you at midnight and 2 a.m. and hope or expect a response. Yeah. But that's kind of brings up a whole different topic. But boundaries is so important, being a real estate agent. You have to have boundaries. If you don't, I mean, your clients are just going to run all over you. It's a hard lesson to learn, and I definitely learned it the hard way.
Yeah, and so how do you set those boundaries? Because like you said, you don't want to not answer the phone or respond to the text, but at the same time, that can't be your life.
It's a fine balance between setting a boundary and saying, no, this can wait, or I am looking at everything as an opportunity and I want to take it in the moment and, you know, all the things. For me, it's just the blending of the two. Because I've realized how important boundaries are just in life in general, you know, personal relationships, work, everything. So the blending of those two is super important for me. And it's hard. I mean, sometimes it's a daily struggle, you know, depending on what's going on. I mean, I've got kids, what's for dinner, you know, and I'm hungry. I bet you are hungry. Go find a snack. So, you know, kids and, you know, my husband owns his own business. You know, he's a painter. Okay. He's a very successful, you know, self-made painter in Brunswick County. And so his small business, my small business, you know, and then kids in the house, you know, you have to be able to be self-aware enough to realize what all you have going on and say, okay, I can't do all of this. I've got to be able to piecemeal some things or ask for help. And one of those things is putting a boundary on clients. So I usually say I'm available Monday through Sunday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's pretty good.
I'm not going to get back to you. I may not get back to you right away, like on a Saturday at 2 p.m. because I might be hosting an open house for my listing and I might be with, you know, customers. But yeah, I mean, I'm available and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I always say.
I assume the team thing also helps. I mean, because like the dynamic we have at town is, you know, let's say someone needs to lock a loan or you need to maybe disclose something or something needs to happen. We can lean, obviously, you know, Lynn, our sales manager, can help us out, but even sometimes teammates can help out on certain things like, hey, can you look up what's pricing right now on an FHA loan? And they'll look it up. And, you know, that's beneficial because like you said, sometimes you're actually, you know, a lot of times people think that you're not in the office. It's because you're just goofing off. But a lot of times when we're out of the office, it's because we're doing events and we're trying to build new business and you don't have access to your computer.
Yeah. Or we're at the event and we're on our phone and we're emailing or calling or texting and saying, you know, hey, I need help with this. But Michelle's team, the exact same way. And it goes both ways. Like, I live in Leland and Michelle, I mean, obviously there's a lot of growth happening in Brunswick County right now. So I think Michelle realizes that. So with me being the one team member that lives in Leland, she's like, oh, you know, I've got this listing coming up. Can you either hold an open or can you, you know, take a rider off and put a pending rider on for me, or just little things like that. And I'm happy to do that for her or any of my team members at any time, because I know that if I needed something, there's no way that I wouldn't have at least one person on my team that would be like, yeah, I got you. Even if they had to rearrange their schedules, I know they would do it.
Yeah, that is the benefit of a team.
Yeah.
No doubt. So did you go to Leland right away when you moved to the Wilmington area? Have you always been in Leland?
I actually, when I first moved here in 2017, this was back when like rent was like, oh my God. I had I lived
on the
over
beach
by
for like $1,000.
I know. I lived over by campus, because there was a little 1-bedroom studio apartment that, you know, a lot of students lived in. It was like the Hawthorne, whatever, I think. And it was like $700 a month, $750, I think. And it's crazy to think about that now. But yeah, I lived there at first. And I ended up in Leland when Dustin and my husband and I got married.
Gotcha.
I bebopped around in Leland a lot because I recognized early on that there was growth happening in Brunswick County, and I wanted to be able to jump on that, and I'm glad that I did. But yeah, so just technically in the last like year or so I've been living there, but I know Leland like the back of my hand.
Yeah, I mean, that is where the growth is happening. And then, of course, you know, Pender also.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know Pender County as well. I mean, obviously, like I, you know, do deals there and I can sell there, but that's not my niche. But there is a lot of growth happening there too.
Yeah, but I mean, Brunswick obviously is the biggest, mostly because, I mean, it's fascinating when you look at any report that comes out about where the growth is happening. It's always Myrtle Beach, but because Myrtle Beach is North Myrtle Beach is like pretty much almost in Brunswick County. So you have this sort of expansion from Wilmington and then the expansion from from Myrtle Beach, and they're like colliding in this little area. Yeah. And so it's like, that's what all those reports are showing, that, technically Myrtle Beach is getting the credit for the growth, but it's, in fact, what's funny is there was a fight. I remember this because this is back when I was on the radio. It was like a political argument, was in 2010 when they redrew some of the maps. Brunswick County actually ended up in the Myrtle Beach MSA. They were attached to Myrtle Beach. And then I remember there was a big fight, and I think it was Congressman Rouser who actually fought to get it back into Wilmington. But I think they did it. I think it happened in 2020 maybe. But at one point it's because it was so much. It's so big. Brunswick County is huge. And I guess because a lot of it was in sort of North Myrtle Beach or whatever, they ended up taking it. And then because so much growth is happening in this area now, I think it made more sense for it to be in our MSA.
I'm glad that they did break that up, because obviously Leland, northern Brunswick County area that has already developed a lot, and there's still development happening. But when you go further south, Charlotte, Bolivia, BSL, all of that, there's so much undeveloped land and opportunities that are happening there. So it's just kind of bleeding down and literally going north to south Brunswick County, and then it's crazy.
And it's amazing because I grew up in the DC area, and like you're inside the Beltway, which is sort of like being in Wilmington proper. It's expensive, and all you got to do is just go outside the Beltway, and all of a sudden you get a lot more house. And that's sort of what you're seeing here, where it's like, if you're willing to leave Wilmington, you can get so much more house. And 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I could understand like, oh, there's not a lot in Leland, but there's so much in Leland now. It's like you don't have to leave Leland anymore.
They are about to, apparently they're building the Publix.
Yeah.
And they're about to build a Marshall's and an Ulta. And as a female, I should be excited, right?
Yes.
I'm not, because I have 2 young girls. And they love Ulta. So I already know it's going to be, can we go to Ulta this weekend? No, we cannot, because I don't have any money. Well, and neither do you.
Well, it would also be the argument, it's like, it's too far of a drive, but now it's right there.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't want to go into Wilmington, baby. I want to go over the bridge today. I've become one of those people.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go. So, but now it's going to be there. I don't know.
That's true. Sometimes too much can be not so good.
Yeah. We'll see how it all shakes out. But I am excited about the development that's happening for sure. It creates so many opportunities for people. There's a lot of D.R. Horton neighborhoods, which I'm like, but it is what it is. I think that if we could get a little bit of a mixture of builders down there, like if we could just get a couple other ones. There's another one that builds in Avalon, which is the neighborhood that I have a listing that just went live yesterday.
Logan's doing a neighborhood right there across from Compass Point, I believe. I think.
I'm talking about in Bolivia.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
But Leland, there's a neighborhood. Terrapin, is that what it's called?
I think that's what it is. Yeah. I haven't been over there in a while.
The one off of 74.
Yeah, it's like right near where Compass Point is. Mm-hmm. And I think Logan's going to be doing that, I think. So don't hold me to that.
That's great. That's an awesome opportunity.
Yeah. But what's funny that you mentioned the D.R. Horton thing is that, because obviously D.R. Horton has in-house lending, and, they do these crazy buy down rates. And
don't even talk to me about DHI. I don't even want to talk about DHI.
If you have bad stuff to say, you can please talk about it. No, I was kidding. No. But the benefit I always tell people, and because people say, oh, you must hate that they're doing all this. I say, yeah, but you realize in like 5 years, those are going to be existing homes.
Yeah.
And then someone's going to need a mortgage for them, and someone's going to need a realtor. And so it's like they may start as sort of this like canned kind of thing where they have their own real estate and their own mortgage, but eventually those will become business that you and I will be taking advantage of. And so it's like, however they build, I'm fine with it. We may not be able to get it in the beginning, but we'll eventually get a piece of it.
And I agree with you 100%. I think the thing that is frustrating for me is all these conversations that have come up over the last couple of years regarding representation and agency.
Yeah.
I just wonder if they're complying. That's all.
Well, D.R. Horton's actually, allegedly they are actually being, there's some lawsuits against them for the way they've been buying down the rates, because they essentially this is from the Wall Street Journal. This is not from me. Don't sue me. The Wall Street Journal reported essentially, kind of what they do is they raise the price of the home and then use that money to then buy down the rate. So you're overpaying for the home, which then is a problem when you try and sell it, because if the neighborhood's still being built, why is someone going to buy your used house when they can buy a new house? And now, now you can't sell it to someone else because they're like, well, I'm going to want less if it's, someone's already been in there, and now they can't get out of the house. And so there's some people that are alleging that. And there's also some allegations that, maybe the fee disclosures weren't completely aware to them. And so there's people that are watching, and you are seeing some of these big time people are saying like, hey, there's something going on with these places.
I just wish that, like, if I were a D.R. Horton or a new builder rep working in a model home, and I had a buyer come in without an agent and said, hey, I really like this house over here. I want to see it. Okay, go show it. Come back. Do you have representation? Like, that's the first thing I would say. Do you have a buyer's agent? Sure, D.R. Horton doesn't want her to, or whoever, to say that, because that's an extra 2.5% to 3% that they're going to have to pay out. But I'm pretty sure that they can afford that 2.5% to 3%. I'm pretty sure that they can. Yeah. So that's the one thing about the new construction that is so frustrating for me. Conversations about agency, compensation, just representation in general, they're not happening the way that they should be. And it sucks. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I was perfect before all the lawsuits, came out that implemented, the changes. Yeah. Because nobody is perfect. But real estate is a really important job. I take it very seriously. We're talking about hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars that these people are putting on the line, and they're trusting you that you are going to advocate for them and that you're going to always have their best interest. It's a serious job, and it irritates me sometimes when these new construction reps, they don't have the conversations that they should be having, and they end up, the buyers think that they're getting a good deal, that they are saving money, that all the great things are happening, when really they're overpaying. Just like you said, they're probably getting a crappy rate. Or they have like the type of rate that, adjustable arm or whatever that they don't even know about or something. And they're not asking questions about representation. They're not saying, hey, you could have an agent. Do you want to, maybe think about that? Well, or just at least educate them on what it is. I don't know.
Well, I mean, so it's interesting too, because, we have all that going on, and then we have this change, the big NAR lawsuit, and the way, who's paying who. And I had my first deal where the seller was, this is my flat fee. And then so the buyer had to then pay some of the commission. And that was like the first time I'd seen that. Mm-hmm. So like things have changed. But so what do you think about like dual agency? I mean, because there's some agents who say, yeah, I do it. It's not a problem. I have no issue. I can separate it. And then I've talked to some people in real estate who say, I will never do that. Like each person needs to have their thing. And that's kind of what you're talking about with D.R. Horton being a dual agent.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously dual agency, it's both firms, or one firm representing both sides. So I guess to answer your question, yes, I practice dual agency, but typically in a situation where it's one firm for both sides, I always say I practice designated dual agency.
Gotcha.
So I have not ever been put in a situation yet. It's probably coming because I have a lot of listings happening right now, and yay, but like, I need a buyer. But so it's probably going to happen soon where I'm presented with the opportunity of a buyer wanting to make an offer on my listing. And I could say, sure, I'll represent you. But then I think about my sellers and I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel right about it. I would have to do a straight dual agency deal myself to be able to say yay or nay for sure. But so far in my 5.5, almost 6 years, I have avoided just straight dual agency. If I have had a deal where I'm on the buy or the list side and the other party is also intracoastal, it's just always designated.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was just curious.
That way there's no bias.
Yeah, because some people, like I said, some people are fine with it. Other people have said they will never do it.
And Michelle does dual agency all the time. And I'm sure there's plenty of agents on my team, like Wendy and Amy and all them that have been doing it for years. I mean, they probably all do it. And there may be a time where I may be more comfortable with it. But really, to me, dual agency, practicing it, not designated, just regular dual agency, is a craft and it's a skill, just like negotiating and, marketing and all that. It's a skill that you have to nurture. And I just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet. So as of right now, I'm like, meh, I don't really like it. I don't like the idea of it, but that could change. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, also it's a good way. You could also give someone a lead, on your team, and so it's like,
yes,
you can say, hey, would you mind representing the seller or buyer in this case? Because I got a listing, and so it's like I said, it sort of kind of can benefit everyone if you're not comfortable doing that, and so that is another benefit of.
I've been given that lead before. Yeah. So hey, I have a buyer who wants to make an offer, but I don't want to practice dual. Do you want this? Yeah, absolutely. That's been presented to me many times, but myself actually being like, you know what, let me refer you to someone. I haven't gotten to the point to where I'm comfortable doing dual agency yet, but we'll see.
Hey, like I said, it's, you never know.
Yeah.
With all these changes, like I said, that are happening in the industry too. It's an interesting time, no doubt about that. I did want to talk about, speaking of being comfortable, you're very comfortable in this interview. And,
good.
Social media is, you do a lot of social media. And so I always tell people it's all about kind of just being comfortable being in front of a camera. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. And so, obviously you do a lot on social media. And so that's a new thing. Something that's really over the last 10 years has become almost, everyone kind of has to do it. Like
I was going to say, it's a necessity nowadays.
I mean, we just came from a sales rally, and they were just like half the sales rally was them talking about marketing yourself and social media and how that plays a part. And so how do you look at how do you utilize social media kind of for yourself and your brand?
So right now, social media is, for me, it's half because I know it's a part of my marketing plan for, my clients, but half of it is fun. So I don't know, specifically like with my TikTok. So like my Instagram and my Facebook, there's just a mix of, oh, here's my kids. And then, oh, hey, I sold a house. That's just personal and a little bit of work. But with TikTok, I like to be a little bit more creative and, do trends and stuff, like just silly stuff. Like I'll just film myself in the car. I have a few videos of me, like after I've dropped off my daughter at school. And then I'll be in the car in my robe, my pink robe, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. And so I love being funny, and I love like just trying to make light of things and, just keep things fun and light, I guess. But while also mixing in the very important stuff, like a virtual tour or, something with a voiceover or, like come do this with me or day in the life. I mean, I literally have a page in my notebook where I have all these video ideas, and they're all sitting in my drafts. And I just can't seem to get them all out, and I'm talking to Emily Weeks, who is on Michelle's team. She's the newest member. So she's a selling agent, or listing and selling, but she focuses a lot of her efforts with Michelle on her marketing. So I told her, I was like, we need to get like some sort of like campaign thing going to where when we have a new listing, you literally say, okay, pull out the sheet and say, okay, for just listed on day 1, we do this, on day 3, on day 4, 5, 6, blah, blah, So I'm talking to her about kind of implementing something more structured for everyone on the team. But she knows that I have a big interest in social media and videos and stuff too. So we kind of, collaborate and brainstorm on that. But circling back, I'm long-winded. To answer your question,
the less I have to talk, the better.
It's a mix of personal and business on Facebook and Instagram, and on TikTok, I like to be a little bit more fun with it.
It does seem like that, though. I mean, like Instagram is very polished. It's a very making polished videos, and TikTok, I've noticed it's sort of made for less, like, it's more informal. Like they want you to just kind of take the camera and just go and just do a video. And so it seems like it is designed for that, where Instagram is more about, because it was picture based, there is a more polish to it and sort of having a good look and everything like that. But TikTok is like all over the place.
Oh, it's just, you'll have to bleep this out, but it's balls to the wall. Okay. It's just whatever anybody wants, you know? And the craziest stuff that you think is not going to hit, it hits.
Yeah.
And then the videos that you take 30 minutes to edit or an hour to edit, they get like 200 views and 5 likes. And you're like, okay, cool. You know? So I don't know. I'm having fun with it. It can be overwhelming at times just because, you know, it's one piece of real estate. There's so much more to it.
Well, the consistency is the hardest part.
Consistency is the hardest part.
Yeah.
But, you know, if I had, this is kind of off topic, if I had to give advice to any new agent, it's always the same every single time. Figure out your plan from day one, whatever that plan is, and do it and be consistent.
Yeah.
And continue to do it over and over and over and over and over again. And through that whole period of doing it over and over again, you're going to find little things that aren't working. Fix those little things, curate and perfect your craft, and stay consistent. And that, to me, that's the recipe to be the most successful and best realtor in the fastest way. You have to stay consistent. I mean, when I first started out, I was doing like 4 open houses in one weekend. And I had a part-time serving job at Texas Roadhouse. So like, I mean, I was busy. I was very, very busy, and I learned a lot. Now, I'm trying to remember, that first like 6 months or so when I was doing those opens, like crazy people on social media were like, oh my God, she's so annoying. She keeps posting about all this stuff. That first 6 months, I didn't have a sale. And I think out of all those open houses that I did at the very beginning, I had one that I got one deal from it, a guy that came in, ended up buying something. But even if I hadn't have had that one guy who ended up buying something from all that work in the first 6 months, I still would say the exact same thing. It was worth every moment, every minute, every, bead of sweat, every, tired, moment where I just want to fall asleep at the computer. It was worth every minute because I learned so much about real estate. Yeah. I learned the difference between a crawl space and a slab at one of my very first open houses that I was hosting because I didn't even know what I was talking about. In real estate school, they don't tell you anything.
Yeah, no, same thing on the mortgage side.
They don't tell you nothing.
They teach you compliance, and they're like, all right.
Here's how to not go to real estate or mortgage jail, right? Yeah. And then you get out there, and you have to rely on your BIC. So, like Janet, love you, Janet. Love you. She is so amazing. I would not be the agent that I am today without Janet as my mentor from day one. Having that support when you're not on a team, when you're just individual starting out, you have to be able to call your BIC. If you can't call your BIC, like at EXP and all that, no brick and mortar, it's all like, I did EXP for a little while. I had an experience with it and it was terrible. It was terrible.
You have to be very experienced.
You know how you go to talk to your BIC? You get on an application on your computer and it's like a virtual thing.
Oh no, you got
it's like a freaking game. It's like a video game, and you get in there and you type to your BIC. It's like, can we just meet up for coffee or something? Or can I just call you?
Was there a BIC in the area, or is it like a big regional?
There was a BIC, but it was regional. This person that I had never met before, didn't know who they were. I didn't even know if they were selling themselves. I had no idea. They were probably managing 300 to 400 agents.
Oh my gosh.
Regionally. Granted, this was in, RDU area, so a little bit bigger, but 400 agents when there's no brick and mortar, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Could never be me.
Well, plus it's like, I mean, they can't meet for coffee. If they met for coffee with everyone, 400 agents, I mean, that's not going to work.
But what is real estate without let's meet up for coffee? You know what I mean?
I agree, yeah.
Like you got to be able to check in with people, and it's not just a text. Like I hate being on the phone. I hate it. Even to like call in to like, pay my water bill or something, because I forgot my password. Like, I hate it, right? But that's what you got to do.
Yeah, that's most of the business.
You have to be on the phone. You have to be face to face with these people because they want to, like, relatability, kind of what we were talking about before. People want to know that you're kind of just a regular person, just like everyone else. That's what I always say to people. Like, when people meet me and maybe they have this impression of me, like, oh, wow, like, you're a realtor? Like, wow. And I'm like, yo, homie, I'm a regular person just like you. I just happen to have a license to do the job that I do. And I like helping people. And I make good money sometimes. So,
well, there is a polishness to, like, when you're in kind of a sales job that, you get the headshot. And so there's sort of professionalism. And so that can create kind of
like a wall almost,
yeah.
Right? So if you come back and you say, like, like, for example, I'm wearing ripped jeans right now. You can't see my jeans, but I got rips on my jeans. I got a little hole right here that's designed that way. But, like, some people would never even imagine seeing me in a more casual outfit, or any agent, because all they see is their business card and this dress and these heels and, my name tag, and I'm so polished. I'm a regular person just like everybody else. I have my own personal life. I have crazy times. I have crazy kids. My husband gets on my nerves sometimes, just like every other wife out there. Love you, babe.
You're supposed to be in the honeymoon phase.
We are. We are. Trust me. I could go on for days about how much I love him. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me. By far.
That's good. That's good.
I think he would say the same thing about me, though.
I'm actually interviewing him next. He's coming in later.
Yeah. Good. I can't wait to hear what he says.
But yeah, I mean, the social media part is kind of interesting because you want to be relatable, but then you also do want to make sure, because I kind of have this problem because I like to joke around and stuff, and you don't want people to think that you're not taking, like, the biggest purchase of their life seriously.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, I'm not being casual with the work. Mm-hmm. I'm just being sort of funny with just in general.
Oh yeah. When I switch into work mode, like, if, Dustin has a friend that comes over to the house and, we're sitting there chatting and, he's like, oh yeah, I've been thinking about buying a house, or, my mom was, came up on some money and she's thinking about, buying something or whatever. And I am like, my brain immediately goes into, work mode, know? So it's like, not my personality changes, but instantly I'm like, how can I help this person? What advice or what resources can I give them? Even if it doesn't turn out to be anything, at least I know I helped them. At least I know I gave them what they needed to be able to move forward. If they chose not to, that's okay. But yeah, it kind of switches, in my brain. It's like, yeah, I'm a regular person. Hey, but, like, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect, but I'm really good at my job.
Now,
saying.
I did want to ask about what you think about the current market.
Yeah.
Just before we run out of time, because it's interesting because you're seeing a lot of positive signs kind of on the national level, but the national level, real estate's local. It's all that matters. And we sometimes reflect what's happening nationally, but it does seem like it's kind of a slow start to 26 a little bit, where you're seeing some positive signs. Like I said, mortgage rates are down. That's definitely a good thing. But it definitely feels slow. I don't know if it's the weather or what, but what's sort of your take on, like, kind of where we are going into 26?
I would say for me personally, it has been a fast start for this year. I had a couple projects, like getting some listings ready that I started like last summer, fall, that are coming up now. And then, just some other listings, people that I know that are like, hey, I'm ready to go now whenever you're ready. So I have a lot of listings that I'm either prepping or that are active right now. Okay. So go check them out at MLS. Yeah, help me sell them. But yeah, so listings are very heavy right now, and which is great because you know how they say, like when you first start out in real estate, that you're probably going to be very buyer heavy at first because buyers are easier to get, especially first time buyers. They've never worked with anybody. And then, you grow your business, and then there comes a point where you get listing heavy, and then you kind of figure out how to mix it all. And then, you're kind of like settled. That's how I've always looked at it. I'm in my listing phase right now.
Okay.
And
but do you think that that's because there is sort of a little slowdown on the seller side?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think there was a slowdown definitely on the list side, like the latter half of last year. Like sellers were ready to have conversations, but they weren't ready to take the plunge, whatever that apprehension was. And then, buyers have just been like sitting under rocks, and they're starting to come out now too. I think buyers are still apprehensive, not because of rates though. I think the buyers that I've been talking to, I think they're more just scared about the uncertainty just of our world right now and our country. Well, there's a lot of political stuff that obviously plays into it. And so I think a lot of buyers are, maybe even sellers, are kind of waiting to see how the political mess kind of, evens out before they make decisions. Now, why that is, I have no idea.
Well, I mean, it impacts the economy.
I get with the economy and then tying in. I just think people, we're not talking about politics. I just think people get so ramped up about the obvious, and they let it affect their emotions and their thoughts and feelings about their own personal, like, is that whole situation directly affecting you right here, right now? Is it going to affect you in a month, when you're selling your house? Probably not. So, but the reality is, I think that's what is holding some people back. But rates, I don't think are holding people back anymore. I think people are finally starting to understand the concept that we've been preaching over the last 3-4 years of, hey, you ain't going to get that rate ever again. Yeah. And if you do, it's going to be a long time, marry
something
the
really
house.
Bad has to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
To get 3.5.
Marry the house, date the rate, So I think people are starting to really understand that concept. And so they're like, okay, you know what? Why am I waiting? Why am I still waiting? Let's just do this and we'll figure out the logistics later.
Yeah. I also think let's say someone does have a 3.5% rate, and I have talked to some people recently who do have that rate. And when you tell them that it's like, well, where rates are, you could actually be under 6, you could be in the 5s. And if we actually do see rates fall a bit more and you're just, in the 5s in general, plus a buy down, you can maybe get down to 5.5.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, 3.5, 5.5, that's doable. But when rates were 8, it was like, I don't blame you for wanting to stay in the house.
Yeah, it's like, what can you say?
Yeah. And so I do think that as rates kind of hover around 6, if we can get that 5 handle, I think that would be pretty good, because I think there's something mental about, like, you see that 5, you're like, oh, 5, I'm at 3, that's only 2 points higher. Like, it's not that big of a deal. And they're sitting on a ton of equity. So it makes more sense for them. So I'm hoping that, as spring hits, because we do get a little bit earlier of a spring buying season because the weather gets nicer. Mm-hmm. And so I'm hoping that, rates continue to kind of trend down a little bit. And then because it's been so cold here, it feels like people are like, I don't want to go look at it, especially that snow. I'm not looking at houses. And
then now today and yesterday, the high 70, and I'm like, it's so muggy. I'm like, my hair's frizzy. I'm like, I can't do this.
I already committed to the vest, so I don't need it, but I kept it on because
you're like, I don't want to wear this vest anymore. God. Yeah, Mother Nature's been on one lately.
Yeah, especially Wilmington is weather-wise is a place.
Very strange. Come live here. Move to Wilmington.
That's right. Yeah,
they say it's great.
You're not allowed to say that anymore. You can't say move to Wilmington. No. People get mad when you say that.
But I also want you to, in a way, right?
That's true. I mean, we do.
Yeah, of course we do.
Everyone else gets really mad when I'm like, I actually think more people can move to Wilmington.
Yeah.
People want to close the borders and shut down I-40 and say, you can't. They want to pull the ladder up after they moved here.
We need people to buy all these houses that are going up in Brunswick County.
That's true.
I'm telling you, there are so many just houses sitting.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we get it. We've got enough. What is that? It's like a TikTok trend from like years ago. It was like, okay, we've got enough slices.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it.
That's what I'm like. We've got enough.
Some pie.
No more slices of pie. yeah, we need people to fill those houses. We need people to buy those, you know? And I hate that they're going to have to go, way down on price and to be able to sell them, which, creates kind of a dip for, our little local economy, or the real estate market at least. But yeah, I forgot what we were. Well, I was going to say,
about. A lot of people get really scared when you talk about home prices like falling a little bit, but it's like a 5 to 10% dip is for the vast majority of homeowners, not an issue. Like they just saw 100% run up. And it's like, you can lose 10%. Like, stop being greedy. Like, you can lose 10%. And then the people that recently bought, who may see their home not appreciate, it's like, yeah, but are you moving? Like, but you don't need it to appreciate right now. It will appreciate. And so it's like, if we do see a little stagnation in price, it's not the end of the world that we've been told that it is. Like, it's not that bad.
No.
Like, it's fine.
To me, the appreciation conversation is very similar to the rate conversation.
Yeah.
Everything's fine. Your home is just appreciating at a slower rate.
Yeah.
You're not going to see the appreciation rates like they were in COVID with the low mortgage rates. You're not going to see that. But you will see appreciation. It's just not going to happen as fast. Yeah. And that's okay. That's normal, right? Janet, my BIC, is so good at education on like what the markets look like. Like, is this normal for this kind of market? Like, I always go to her for that type of thing. And she's been telling me lately, she's like, this is a normal market. This is what kind of a balanced feel looks like. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'll figure it out. Because, when I first got in, I was kind of just like thrown to the wolves, like in the trenches in a way, because it was just like staying up till, midnight writing offers. And because even if it's just one client, you're probably writing 10 offers for that one client. So, trenches, staying up late, all the things. And then now it's like, okay, I'm busy, but it's slower busy. Like, it's just, it's weird. The first thing I want to say when everybody asks me, so how's the real estate market? It doesn't matter who's asking me. Trey Wallace could be asking me. And I would have to knee jerk myself not to say, man, it's weird. That's what I say every time. It's just weird.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to be, though.
But you can't say that. It's like, as a licensed, real estate professional, it's like, I can't say it's weird. But if you're asking me that question.
You just did.
It's freaking weird, man. It's weird, but you know what? We're here, we're doing it, and I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I think 26 is going to be pretty good.
Me too.
I think it's been weird the last couple of years with sort of the ups and downs. It's like great month, nothing for 2 months, great. And so I feel like we're going to have a little more stability.
Yeah.
And we're going to get back to sort of this normal market, and I think everyone's got to kind of adjust for that, but I do think it's good for us overall. But yeah, the craziness of COVID was not sustainable from any perspective.
Really all it creates is another opportunity for us as real estate professionals to be able to have more productive conversations with our clients.
Correct.
That's really all that and we should have been doing that from the get.
Yeah.
So like the people that left, the real estate after the settlement and, all this stuff, I'm like, bye. Yeah. We should have all been doing this from the get. If you can't buck up now, you should leave the industry. Absolutely. Please do.
I think it's a good thing to have a little calling every once in a while where you get you get the industry. It got way too many people in it during COVID, and now we're kind of back to a more.
It was too relaxed, too willy nilly. Yeah. Missing things on paperwork. All that. It's like, let's get back to where we were. Let's do right by our clients.
Plus, on the mortgage side, there's nothing more terrifying than seeing like a $20,000, $50,000 due diligence, and you're like, this loan better close.
Bro, let me tell you, one time I had this was not my deal, but it was a deal of a lady in our office at Allen Tate. It was probably $800 to $900 price point, maybe a little higher, $100,000 due diligence.
Gosh. Please tell me it closed.
I'm pretty sure it did. Okay. Thank God. But $100,000 just gone.
Yeah.
Gone. You get a credit back if you close.
How much was the house?
I think it was like in that 800 to 900 price point. It could have been a
that's
little
crazy,
over, but it was
10%?
between like 8 and $1 million. Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, I could get it if it was like a $5 million house, but like, that's crazy. $100,000 on like.
It was just one of those expensive, nice houses in RDU. You know, nothing special.
That, like I said, that is, I don't like that. But I mean, listen, I'm not saying I don't close loans. I'm just saying that you already got pressure to close the loan.
We're both really bad at our job. Just kidding.
When you see that, you're like, oh my gosh, I hope this guy told me everything was right.
Well, I mean, and it just thinking about $50,000 and $100,000 due diligences compared to where we are now, it puts things into perspective for sure.
It does. No doubt about that. All right. Well, Lindsay, I could probably do another 20 minutes, but
Me
I know
too,
you're busy.
But that's okay. We'll do it another time.
Yeah, I'll definitely get you back on because we didn't get to some of the other topics. So, but I appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
I had so much fun. Thank you for having me.